Hello everyone, this is Alicia. Thought I'd do a video. I was gonna show you guys some of my Christmas presents, but then I just realized, wait a minute. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and many of you probably wonder, well, how did I get started in sci-fi, first of all? Because you probably have noticed in my likes and also in my favorites that I have a lot of sci-fi videos. And so I thought I would talk about this special interest of mine. And so let me back up a little bit. My father, who passed away in 2009, as most of you know, he was a sci fi fan. He had started out reading various sci fi novels by Isaac Asimov, and he had other author books by the one that wrote the Dune series. He also read some of the ones that Stranger in a Strange Land. And he was married to my mother, and he was working at nighttime, and my mother didn't have much to do while she was waiting for him to come home. So she would pass the time reading books of his, including the James Bond series, and then she started reading the sci-fi novels. And in 1984, the year before I was born, my mother went to see the movie Dune with Kyle MacLachlan, Patrick Stewart, and many other actors and whatnot. And the thing is, she was pregnant with me, so unofficially, I got exposed to sci-fi that way. But then later on, when I was about maybe 3 or 4, my dad introduced me to Star Trek, the original Star Trek. The Star Trek involving Kirk, this is a picture of Kirk. I'm sorry it's a little dark, but this is Kirk and this is Spock, and this is a magazine my mom got me for Christmas this year. And so I got exposed to that one, and I would watch that one because my dad had recorded a lot of the reruns on TV, and he would record them, and some of his favorite episodes became my favorite episodes, including The City on the Edge of Forever, where Kirk and his away team, Spock, Scotty, Bones, Uhura, all have to travel into various time periods. Mostly it's involving Kirk and Spock and Bones. And this woman named Edith Keeler, who is portrayed by Joan Collins, a very beautiful actress, a very, very, very beautiful actress. And so basically the misadventures that happen during that. Sadly, Kirk has to make a decision that changes his life forever, and let's just say it ends sadly. I don't want to give too much away if you've never seen the episode. It just ends sadly. But also, I was exposed to Star Trek Next Generation with Picard, Riker, Deanna Troi, and this is kind of funny but kind of embarrassing too. Not too embarrassing, but it's like one of my first crushes was with little Wesley Crusher, who was about 12 years old at the time. And as a 4-year-old, you're very impressionable and you think, oh, he's cute. And I was given a teddy bear. I don't remember who gave it to me, but someone gave it to me, and it has on the left paw on this red little label, and it says, "You are special." And I typically name all of my stuffed animals. I mean, I've been naming them since I got them. Some of them, they had the name that they were given when I first got them. Some of them, I named them that. Like, I even named my Care Bear, one of my Care Bears. I didn't realize she had a name, but I gave her a name after my mother, Anne. But anyway, I digress. I named this teddy bear Wesley after Wesley Crusher. And I also followed the series Deep Space Nine. I also watched Stargate SG-1, where I'm a huge Daniel Jackson fan. Trust me, I'm a huge one. I've seen the Stargate movie. I've seen Star Wars. I've seen every Star Wars film there is so far. So I'm really excited about this new one that Disney has teamed up with J.J. Abrams. I've also seen most of the Star Trek films. The only one I have not seen is the last Star Trek movie that was made, where it was Star Trek and the It involved Benedict Cumberbatch in that one. I don't remember the full name. I think it was Into Darkness, but I have not seen that one. I have yet to see that one. I know the entire story, and I'm gonna eventually get it on DVD, but I will watch it. I promise. I also liked Battlestar Galactica, the original series. I also have the newer one that was made a couple years ago, and I have that one as well. I've read sci-fi. I've read the Dune series. I'm currently, I believe, on book number 3, which is Dune Messiah, and it involves Paul and his children. I'm also have read some of the classic ones, such as The Time Machine. I have actually seen the movie The Time Machine, the original one created by, I believe, I want to say Rod Serling created it. And it's one of the first sci-fi films ever made. I've seen that one. I have that one on DVD. I've watched that one. Some people consider Back to the Future a sci-fi not story. I guess you could say I'm into that because of Back to the Future, because that's one of my favorite films. I've even written sci-fi myself. I'm currently writing one where it's a princess, but she doesn't know she's a princess, and she gets involved with. He's sort of like Paul from the Dune series. If you know the Dune series, he's a messiah, and he's known as the messiah of his people. Well, it's slightly different, meaning he's a healer. He can heal people by just touching them, or he can determine somebody's sick and he can treat them. But the thing is, he doesn't know he's a healer. He finds out later, before his mother dies, and he's raising this princess who she doesn't realize she's a princess. And it's going to be divided into 3 parts. Right now, I'm still in the first part, and I've misplaced my notebook, unfortunately. But right now, it's taking place when they're in their academy. She's in finishing school right now, learning all this stuff of what it means to be a lady in that time. And he's learning what it means in the military academy that he's into. He's learning what it means to be a pilot, how to use various weapons, etc., etc., etc. The second part is going to be basically more of her training and her becoming the princess. The third part is going to be where she has to defeat her evil uncle, the one who killed her parents at the first place. And so she has to defeat him, her cousin, and a bunch of other stuff. And it's also going to be like the ending of the evil king, which is her uncle, like I said, and her cousin, and also how she and the healer, who is also her fiance unofficially, she doesn't realize he's her fiance, but they're pledged to be married. They're going to have children. They're going to have to start a life together, and everything's going to be restored back into that galaxy. Sci-fi is pretty cool to me. People always have these huge debates, Star Trek versus Star Wars. I like them both in different ways. And I remember seeing Star Wars when I was about 4 years old as well. And I remember watching Sesame Street. Yes, I admit I watched Sesame Street when I was little. And I remember seeing C-3PO and R2-D2 on Sesame Street, on the set. They were literally walking around. Well, R2, as you know, doesn't walk. He sort of glides along with his wheels and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. I said, oh, I know who these guys are. And when I first started watching Star Wars, I had a crush on Luke Skywalker, which I have now changed and said, well, Luke is cool, but I prefer Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I liked Anakin before he went to the dark side. I've seen the second Star Wars film, Episode 2, and I saw that one in theaters, believe it or not, as a birthday gift from my dad. So I've seen that one. And like I said, I have all the Star Wars films. The only ones I don't have right now is the animated Clone series that was created. I'm told that one's very good. I've seen clips of it. To me, it looks okay. That's the only way I can put it, because I haven't seen a full episode. So I can't give a full assessment of that one. I've seen Dune with Patrick Stewart since then, and I've also read the book. The book goes into a lot more detail than the movie. I also have the newer version that was, I believe it was on cable, but I have that one on DVD as well. I have yet to watch it, but I've seen clips enough to know, okay, it looks more like the book. So I thought I'd tell you all my journey of Star Trek, Star Wars, all that, my sci-fi, basically, my love of the stars, so to speak. It's not really stars, but it's science fiction. So I hope you all enjoy that. Hope it was informative. And I just have one last thing to say to you guys. Live long and prosper. Take care now. Bye bye.